today I'm going to unbox and take a quick look at Freezing Inferno, USSR versus Finland, 1939 to 1940. Now, earlier this week, I covered what I thought was a relatively new game publisher. In fact, I think I ended up finding out that they had 3 games. I thought it was their first. But it was definitely a new taste and a new feel and a new look for wargaming. And that was from Tompet Games. I might even mispronounce their company in the video. And they were kind enough to send that to me to get a first look, and that might be one of the first copies that is out and available. This is from I'm pretty sure this is a new game publisher. This might be their very first game, and that's Princeps game, and they're a Serbian, I believe they're a Serbian game company. And this is Freezing Inferno. They had some buzz about this several months ago, maybe even at the end of last year. And I saw some people talking about it, and I think there might have been some prototypes out there. I got in on this later. I was talking or corresponding with Princeps Game, and they actually wanted me to cover their dice tower that kind of goes along with this game. And I'll put a link to that in the video, but that was several months ago. I said I was interested in looking at this because this looked a little bit different. As I've said earlier this week, I'm always interested in seeing what new game companies or fledgling game companies or game companies that have not been in the business very long. I don't know if they're all the same thing there. How they're approaching the hobby, how they're approaching quality, how they're approaching, the content, the different types of conflicts, the rules, the mechanics, all those kind of things. And so this one looks very interesting. It comes in a very, very big box, and a lot of art on the sides here. And the one thing I do like about this is that, it's dealing with a conflict that is not over-gamed. There are some games out there dealing with Finland, USSR versus Finland at the beginning of World War II, but it's not exhausted, right? It's not Bulge or Market Garden or D-Day or even Eastern Front or even the Pacific for that matter. This seems somewhat fresh, and I think the way they've approached it might look a little bit fresh as well. So let's take a look at the back of the box. As I said, this is pretty heavy. And right out of the box, it's not even out of the box yet, you can tell that the map looks a little bit different. I mean, you're going to have a USSR, you're going to have Finland, probably going to have Sweden at some point around here. But you can tell that the graphics are a little bit different. I think there's an extra focus on the graphics, and you see a lot of frozen lakes or lakes that probably are frozen. So that to me kind of jumps out right as you look at it. Also, the 1 to 2 players, I believe there is a solo mode in here. That's something else that I'm interested in. But this is meant to be played opposed, but does have a solo mode. 4 to 6 hours and ages 14 plus. And then you've got hexes, you've got counters. So that's something that's familiar to most of us. But I do think they take some different approaches to gameplay. Anyway, let's open this and see what we have inside here. I don't know if did I start this anywhere. Let's see what we have in here. Again, this is a mighty big box, and I have been I came home early to try to film these games for this week, but I was been out of town each day at a swim meet for my girls, the last of the season. So nice big thick box, both on the thickness of the cardboard, but also the depth of the box itself, as you can see there. We've got a packed board, and it's a mounted board. So we'll take a look at that here in a second. We've got some pads here, and I don't know if there's hidden movement in this, but it looks like we've got some pads to mark stuff. nice colored pads there. Here are the rules, and a little bit smaller format of paper here, but looks like it's full color. And how many pages do we have here? We have 46 pages. Now, a lot of these ones in the back, I don't know if these are setups or if this is an example of play, but you have this pad here kind of marked. So a lot of these pages in the back are marked that way. Let's go to the front here and see what we have. Here's your contents. Oh, so Appendix A is Finland bot setup, and Appendix B is USSR bot setup. So that must be for the solo pet play. And solo mode is from page 14 on. So really you only have 27 pages of rules. And it's probably a lot of rules just because you have a smaller book here. I mean, this is not a full page. There's your introduction. Talking about the map here, home cities, key cities, terrain, terrain attack modifiers, units, unit characteristics. And it looks like here that there's like little miniatures that come with this. Game version with miniatures. So I don't think my version comes with miniatures. Wah, wah, wah. But there's a game version that you can get with miniatures and has a little dial on there. Keep track of it, kind of like WizKids, their old hero clicks set there. This is all combat, zone of control, unit supply, occupying a city. So, we got unit supply, so this is going to be somewhat operational. You're dealing with, I think, the entire scope of the USSR and Finland conflict in early World War II. There's initial game setup, and then you have advanced version. We got battle here, resolving the battle. Looks like there's a little bit of math there, but be interested in seeing how that works. There's a combat results table, or CRT there. Special player abilities for Finland and USSR. Here's the calendar. Here's unit cost. So there is a little bit of a reinforcement. So this definitely is operational and maybe even a tad bit strategic, when you're dealing with buying units and stuff like that. Here's a weather optional. So this is module 1. So you have some modular rules. You have weather. You have technological, tactical improvements, and these rules are optional. Module 3 is diplomacy. Again, now we're getting, this does feel a little bit more strategic in that regard. Action sequence, initial operations, round 1, rounds 2 through 8. So it's an 8-round game. Let's go a little bit closer in on that. And this should be pretty much the end. Okay, now you're into solo mode. There's the rules for solo mode. And then you have some appendix for setup, for bot setup. So that's what that is about. Okay, great. Counters are wrapped as well. No, they're not wrapped. They're in a Ziploc. So we'll pull those out. This is the thing that's kind of interesting here. There's already kind of an insert in here. And it's a nice thick insert. I mean, it's one of those ones you buy and have to put together. And there's little goodies in here. Looks like there's some markers in here. Oh, this is money. Bet that's money. So you got some money. Cool. We've got some big cards here. Almost tarot size. So let's take a look and see what those have to offer. As I said, I think there was some gameplay on this, and I just kind of missed it. I think it might have been a prototype. I saw little bits and pieces and read about it, and that's when I can't remember if they reached out to me or I reached out to them. But I thought, well, let me see what this is about. As I said, I'm always wanting to see what game companies are doing, and also help game companies out to get their word out. The little I can, right? So there's 8 different, so these must be for the different rounds. So these must be events that happen each round. So you'll probably draw these randomly. And so for the first round, these might be the options of what might happen. And then going into the 8 different rounds. And you got some history here, which I always like. All right, so that, don't know if those have to go back in there, but that's where they were, right? Then we got an empty box there, but these must be for the counters, because you've got, we got dice too. So you've got markings on there for Finland. Oh, I got a dice in there. Oh, there he is. Finland and USSR. So that maybe these counters right here will go in there. Some interesting dice there. It looks like, I feel like we're playing D&D. We got an 8-sider, 10-sider, 20-sider, but it's not 1 to 20. And that one's not 1 to 20. And those are probably one for Finland and one for USSR. And then we have a 12-sider here. That is 1 to 12, it looks like. Interesting. So very cool there. Then what do we got in this big area here? Ooh, we got something really big here. So, oh, these are cards. Now, this is something that I'm seeing with newer game companies. VUCA does this, but their player aids are very nicely done. Very thick as a board type player aid. So this is the USSR bot, and there's the Finland AI bot, and the USSR AI bot. So, you know, that's if you're playing solo. Then we've got some, it looks like this is a calendar, possibly. It's got USSR on the back. And there's one of these for Finland as well. And this might be like the technological improvements, so this might be part of the optional rules. Here's your ground-to-ground and air-to-air combat results table. Sorry for the glare there. And air-to-ground combat results table. But again, very thick. I mean, look at that. Here's your CRT abbreviations. An action sequence. Really nice player aid there. And your unit costs. And then we have, this is the weather. Again, I don't know if this is the optional rules for weather. But very nice. Those are nice. I like those. Very thick, nice boards there. Now let's get into, let's put this back where I found it. You know, might as well cut this open too, right? We're doing an unboxing here, so let's see what we have in the box. So yeah, this looks like money. It's money. Look at some of these here. Thick. Yeah, it's better than paper money, right? At least I assume it is, but probably is. So there's the money. Don't know if that's going to go back there, but it can sit there for now. Let's look at these counters here. Okay. And they are double-sided and pre-rounded. You don't need to clip these. I like them. I like the look of them. You know, they're using silhouettes or actually images, you know, little images on there. Very nice. So there's one counter sheet. Here's 2. They look somewhat similar. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. So these 2 look very similar. Maybe they're all the same. So there's, they look the same. But again, I'm just doing a quick look at it. So there's those 3, I would hazard a guess, are the same. Then 4 is the same. And 5. So you get 5 counter sheets, but they all look to be the same. So you're just doing multiple copies of the same unit. Sorry for that glare. I keep getting it in there. So 5 counter sheets, and it looks like there's a box to put them in. I gotta say, the insert is a surprise. That was not expecting that, and that looks that's kind of cool. All right, I'm going to need to move some stuff out of the way so that we can actually get to the maps. I don't know if this is, if I got to rip this open or not. Doesn't appear to be a seam, so let's get it started and see what we have in here. But these are mounted boards, and as I said when I started off, when you look at the back of the box, and something anything that I saw on this game receiving it, the art is just different. It's just a different kind of art. Let's go a little bit close in there. Look at that. I mean, it's just interesting. It almost reminds me somewhat of like a fantasy map. The way they've done the woods and everything, and the towns. It almost has like a Euro game feel. But, this is a war game. Heaven forbid. Oh, and it's double-sided, too. Whoa, geez. Double-sided here. And it is a pair of pants map, as you can see here. Well, let's look at the white side first. And there is, quite a bit on here. I'm going to have to go up Periscope a little bit here so we can see what is all on here. And I still can't get it all on there. Lie's relatively flat. So here's your diplomacy chart down here. Gulf of Finland, easy for you to say. Ladoga Lake. Again, I apologize I mispronounced any of this. But these look like just straight lakes, and not as, ice covered as I think the other side when we get to that. Let's look at here and get in a little bit. This is interesting terrain here, almost like a glacier. Very rough terrain, it looks like. And so this side of the map, the woods are not as pronounced. It's not as kind of that, and I'm using fantasy not in a derogatory way, but it has a little bit more of a fantastic or fantasy type feel, a little bit more detailed. This looks more like a typical war game, right? With just the bodies of water, the roads, the forest, and then some, mountains and the like up there. So let's look at the other side of the map and see the art that I was referring to at first. I think you can. I think you can play either side of these maps, and I think they have the same information on it. It's just that one of them has a different graphic setup. So you can see here the lakes have a little bit of a more texture to it. The trees are definitely detailed. Even the cities have some more detail. So this is a different looking map. So I can see, if you're a diehard wargamer, this might look a little different than what you're used to. And maybe not as serious, but I like it. I mean, I guess if there's no difference between the sides other than the graphics, then that's an interesting touch that you gave. One that can appeal to a more traditional war game look and feel, and then you have one that is, I think more representative of this game company's approach, right? It's taken a different look at things. So here's USSR. Go back a little bit so you can see this. So you have USSR, Finland. Ooh, there's my finger. Finland, Sweden, and Norway. Right there. So very nice. And then you have a lot of tracks over here that kind of snake a little, 1 through 18, then 19 through 33, and then down to 48 here. As you can see that. Then we have some combat modifiers up at the top there. Attack modifiers. So you have that right there on the board, and it has that same diplomacy chart at the bottom like the other side did. Right down there. And there's Helsinki. So there you have it. This is what you get in a box of Freezing Inferno, I have to say it is a little different. I like it. I like the overall look of it. Get some pads there. We got the rules, of course. 5 counter sheets. Again, I think they're all the same, but I'd have to. Oh, they come out pretty easy too. I was just putting that down, and that person, that's USSR, they're ready to go. They're ready to go to town. You know, you kind of have to show this insert box, because this insert box is as much of the game as the game. Because, I mean, that's just really interesting. And this is thick, as you see here. This is one of those thick inserts, you know, that you spend as much money as a game to buy, right? Let's put those over there. Then we got some dice there, different kind of dice. As I said, I mean, this might be a regular hex encounter game, but it sure doesn't look like it. It looks like there's a lot more there. A lot of different type of feel there. Get some of those cards out there. Gotta show the goods, right? And let's get some money out there. Why not? Why not? So we can show it all. That one's kind of sticking a little bit. I wonder if I got. Oh, these come out. Oh, look at that. Didn't realize that. They don't really come out. When they come out, they start coming apart. So let's not bring them out. So there you have it. That is what you get in a box of. I don't know where to put this. Freezing Inferno from Princeps Games. Want to thank Princeps Games for sending me this copy and letting me take a look at it. Now, next up is playing the doggone thing, because this looks very interesting. Anyway, that's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you know a little bit about this game or have been looking forward to it, love to hear your thoughts and comments on this. Now that you've got a chance to look at what the production copy looks like. Again, sans the minis. This one doesn't. I don't know if they're going to come out with an edition that has minis. I'll have to read up on that. But this is the regular counter version, I guess. Hex encounter version. And if you don't know anything about this, but now that you've seen this, you're interested, love to hear your thoughts on that as well. Love to hear your thoughts on what you think the graphic design looks like, or even the counters and the solo bot and the kind of the operation / strategic level with the buying of units and supply and the like. And diplomacy as an optional rule. All those things add for a very intriguing game, because a lot of times when you see something that is tackling the USSR v Finland combat or the engagement, it's usually just that. It's the combat part. But this one goes a little bit further, and it doesn't force it on you, because those seem to be modular, like the weather and the diplomacy and the technological advancements all seem to be somewhat modular. Now, the buying of units and supply, I think that's part of the standard core game. Anyway, that's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I really do appreciate that. And the best way I know you stop by is drop me a comment about this or anything else on your mind. Just keep it civil. Take care.
Thanks for watching.